side with us. Green, blue, and gray, that's what we rock. On top, ride with us, side with us. Glad to hear y'all dropped in. On top, slide with us, fall and take it locked in, and let's go.
Hey, Pete, how you doing? I still see you. Am I supposed to see you? Yeah, but I see you. Okay. But why do I? Okay, look, Pete, I'm 60 and concussed. If I'm looking at you, I'm going, hey, Pete, how you doing? Nobody sees you right now? Oh, wait, if I don't want to hit leave, because if I leave, then do I lose the show? All right, man. Don't even start. You can't do this to me, bro. You said, hey, Dave, use your phone. It looked great. Da 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 da. And now I'm just looking at Pete. Hey, Pete's our producer. He does a great job for us. Anyway, hey, I'm Dave, and this is Hawk Talk. Um, Second weekend. Hey, it's preseason. You guys have watched preseason. Preseason, we should get the bugs worked out. Right now, we got to get Pete worked out in my vision so I can conduct a show. But anyhow, tonight we've got some great guests. Last week we had Spock Hawk on talking about the entire roster down to the third string, down to every rookie that's signed, giving us a bunch of great insight. And tonight we got Norm Johnson, 35-year anniversary team, and I'm pretty sure he made the 50th year anniversary team. And we'll talk about everything that Norm has done with the Seahawks. And then we got Kenny Burns. And man, I'll tell you what, if you're a Seahawker, you know who Kenny is. And we're going to talk about some cool stuff that's coming up. Tonight, unfortunately, Walt, as we've been discussing, is coaching high school football finally, and is stuck at a 7-on-7. This preseason stuff. He may be able to get in a little bit late, but we didn't want to miss our 7 o'clock time for those of you that have been following us, and we appreciate all of you 12s, all of you Seahawkers. But man, we're getting ramped up. We're getting ramped up for the preseason, and we're getting excited. I want to bring in my brother Norm Johnson. I see a Pete. Oh, that's you, Norm. There we go. Norm, how you doing, brother?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
So,
hey, I can see Pete too, so don't feel so bad.
Okay. Hey, hey, Norm, I already hear voices, and I'm glad I'm not the only one seeing visions of other people. Hey, so now I did preface the intro, and I didn't, we did do the election, and I'm assuming you made the 50th year anniversary team as well.
You know what? There was not a kicker on that roster.
Really?
Not one. There were 2 punters, including the current punter, Michael, but yeah, there was not a place kicker.
Well,
it was kind of disappointing.
That is disappointing. Who's in charge
I don't
of
know
that?
how they, I was talking to Dave Wyman about that the other day, and there's some questions that we all have about how it was done. Is it just they put everybody's name in the hat, and then the ones that got the most votes made it? So if there was the most votes for we haven't had 50 quarterbacks, but let's say there was 50 quarterbacks, and would they have all been on the 50 team because they got the most votes? I mean, how did it work?
No, you didn't get the list to vote.
Well, I did, but
okay.
They didn't say
how did they
determine in each category or anything?
Okay, so how did they determine what that list was? Is what your question is? Yeah.
Well, no, I know how they did that. You had to. There were some qualifications. You had to be on a playoff team and or make a Pro Bowl or something like that. There was some of those kinds of qualifications.
But you
I don't
did.
remember what they were. Oh yeah, I hit all the qualifications. I was on the list to vote, but I didn't make the final the top 50.
Well,
now if they went on total votes, I saw some guys that made it that I'm thinking there's no way they got more votes than I did if they were just going by total votes.
Right.
And so I don't know how that was determined, and I don't know how much.
Okay, so we're already talking about a sticky subject because, of course, you should have been, right? Really, what is about who would you say were the top 2 to 3 kickers of Seahawk history? Would it be you and Hauschka, or you and who?
Yeah, I think I think Hauschka was an excellent kicker. I think Chris Brown was an excellent kicker.
So that's it.
You know, back in the day, Efren was a really good kicker. He wasn't here very long, but
No, he wasn't there very long, so that doesn't count. I mean, now, okay, so excuse my ignorance, and this might be another sticky subject. I think your name came up for the Circle of Excellence,
the Ring of Honor.
the Ring of Honor, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, well,
I don't know where you would have heard that.
Well, I've seen posts that you should be on it, and so and then I'm assuming, well, then you weren't. And in my mind, well, yeah, I mean, a cat who at the time was one of the most prolific kickers, had the strongest legs, was signed one of the biggest contracts, which indicates you're one of the best kickers in the league at the time, if I recall correctly.
I did not ever sign a big contract. I wish I had.
Okay, a big kicker contract, Norm. Not me.
No, I never really
No,
I never really signed a big contract.
okay.
I really didn't.
All
I never
right.
made, headlines about, hey, we got re-signed and I'm breaking the bank. Nothing like that. Nothing's ever happened like that.
Well, yeah, maybe sometimes you just gotta let an old offensive line remember things the best he can. Because I held you in high esteem. I mean, I do know you're one of the strongest legs in the league. Always known for being a long kicker and a great career with the Seahawks. So and on the 35th anniversary team, they'll never take that away, no matter what the vote.
That's true.
Okay, so we'll
I think
get
there
off
were
of
different
that.
rules for that one.
Wait, less guys? What?
Well, I don't know. There was people that didn't make the 35th team that made the 50th that were eligible for the 35th. There weren't really any rules on the 35th that I know about, and they didn't make it, and they were eligible as far as I know, but they made it in the 50th, which makes it even stranger.
All right, so people love our show because we're candid and we give insight. So here's one thing I'm never privy to: being voted into any of those kind of teams. So do you like when you hook up with Craig or you hook up with Large, you hook up with whomever? Is there any ever a topic of discussion like how the heck did that cat make it, or is it just, are you guys just because? And I will say this, and I know this to be true. I mean, playing alongside you, even just for a year and a half that I was there, and Large, it's so humble, just so happy to be there, so happy to be a part of such a great deal, having a great career. Do you just kind of let it be, or do you kind of say, why is Wyman on there?
Well, if it comes up in the topic or whatever, for example, the only time I've even talked about it was at Mike Tice's last tournament last week.
Okay.
I was sitting there talking to Wyman, after the event, and I can't remember who we were talking to in a small group, and that came up about the 50th anniversary. So we talked about it, and he was he had his questions about how that was put together and how some of the really young guys who are still playing that haven't even had a quote career, so to speak, on the team made it. And, was that fair? Is it not fair? Who's voting? How many of the more recent fans, who went through all the Super Bowls. So that was a really exciting time. So a lot of the Super Bowl guys on those teams made it. And then you look back at some oddballs from way back and you say, that's interesting that they made it. And I asked him, I said, how do you think this voting actually went down? Was it just a number of votes? Because I know there's guys on that I can point to on that 50-year roster that I'm sure I got more votes than they did if it was just a total vote, or was there some other things that the Seahawks kind of slipped some people in, or I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember when I received the list to vote, the younger guys that have played 3 years or 4 years, as great as they are today.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Okay, let's bring them in for the 75th year, but you don't belong on the 50th year if you've gotten 3 great years, because there's a
Or
lot of
two.
cats,
Yeah.
that had 3 great years, but they wouldn't be on the list because they didn't contribute to Seahawks football, especially in today's free agency. We see that so often. I actually, in the last show I just did, we were talking about why are former players so loyal to their teams. Well, because they spent their whole career there. And so today's players, as great as they are, they'll play on 4 teams. So are they ever going to be a part of any anniversary team unless they just killed it over a 3 or 4 year period? No, because they're going to go to somewhere else and collect more money. So the game has changed, and that whole dynamic has changed. And
I'm thinking back on the parameters. I can't think of all of them, but it was like a Pro Bowl, a playoff season, something or other. I think a good one that they left out that would have changed some of those is having spent some period of time, 5 years on a team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how somebody can show up. I mean, Jerry Rice was a Seahawk. So are you going to put him on the list because he's a great player?
Right.
Well, no, he was here for a year and didn't do much. But I mean, what a great player, right?
Right.
So I think there should have been some kind of criteria on a length of time, length of stay.
Yeah, indeed. All right. So I'll tell you one thing. One thing that we can't agree on is you should have been on the list and you should have been on the team, because every position needs to be represented, and certainly you represented that position as well, probably better than anybody in the history of the Seahawks organization. And so you got my vote. I voted for you. So we'll make it an issue on every show, and we'll make it a Norm Johnson push for the Ring of Honor. Because
all right.
Well, it is what it is, buddy. And you brought up a very valid point in today's dynamic. How many guys are going to be considered, the best of that particular team, even as great as they get? Now, because they're just going to continue on and chase money or championships, or because they've made so much doggone money, they're just not going to play as long. Think about some of the records. Like, I look at my buddy Greg Townsend, the all-time sack leader for the Raiders. And as great as the kid is there now, what's his name?
Crosby.
As great as he has like half the number of sacks that Greg has. Well, he's not going to play long enough. He's making so much doggone. He's just not going to play that many years because he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? And so
especially a position like that. If you're beating your body up and you've got a lot of money in the bank, it's time to, one of the greatest, obviously one of the greatest Seahawks, one of the greatest guys ever is Steve Largent.
Yes.
And when he retired, he could still have played. He could have continued, but he said, "You know what? I'm done. I'm ready. I want to retire and still be able to run around with my grandkids with not having bad knees and all of that," because he was still relatively healthy, and he wanted to, continue his life being healthy. And I think that runs to your point now is when you make a whole lot of money in your career and you're pretty much, you got everything set up. If you don't absolutely love everything you do, because you're going out there risking a lot, and you say you're concussed and all that. I mean, the longer that career lasts, the more chances of real permanent injury. And so if I was making some of the money that they're making now, I would, as a kicker, it's a little different, but some of those positions, I'd think twice about eking out every last play I could get.
And would you have put 2 bars on your face mask?
I did have 2 bars on my face.
Okay, you did.
Never 1 bar though. That was for the sissies. It carried around like a little basket,
That's awesome. Hey, so before we bring Kenny in, one of the great 12s, one of the great Seahawkers that we have, and talk about what he's doing. I would love to talk a little bit, Norm, about off of the field, off of outside of Seahawks, beyond Seahawks football, and it's something that you're doing. That one thing I love about you is that gosh, we've talked a bunch, but I haven't seen you for 35 years or whatever it's been. And you reach out once in a while when you've got something that you feel guys would benefit from. And that's a huge thing about the brotherhood, and it's not like everything, and it's like, I do a lot off the field. I do a lot in the community. I do a lot with veterans. I do a lot with kids, and I just send stuff to guys. I send stuff to guys to keep them involved, to keep them active, and but one thing that you've done is your concern of, giving guys an opportunity to figure out what they want to do to generate income, to generate revenue without the de facto things. And one thing that you've recently brought to my attention that I've already reached out to two young guys that are about 3 years removed that are looking for something is it GFI? I always
Yeah.
GFI. So
Yep.
it's a life insurance platform, and the thing is, as soon as you say those words, life insurance,
it's global financial impact, and that's it's an encompassing financial company. It's way more than life insurance.
Well, but the basis of it is life insurance and annuities. But the thing is that people pigeonhole life insurance and annuities as, well, my kids are, this, and I've got this income, and I need 300,000 of life insurance, so I'm going to go buy a 20-year term, and it's going to cost me $150 a month. No, life insurance is an investment retirement vehicle with so many tax benefits. And I think that what GFI is doing is educating people on these huge tax benefits for not just a mom and dad with a child and protecting income and paying off the mortgage and college savings. It is, are you a CEO and you want to be able to put together a tax-free income stream for the rest of your life, and at the same time protect your family, protect the mortgage, protect your income, but
exactly
a strategy to be able to, and I know one of the recent ones was pay off a mortgage in 9 years, and do all those same things, through a tax advantage strategy. Now, I've shared with you, I've done it for 20 years. I understand a lot of these things. What I'm looking forward to is, I've already talked to two young players, is educating them and bringing them into the opportunity. And so why don't you share a little bit more about what you're doing with GFI and how you introduced it to me, and then what we can do to help other former players and anybody else that's interested in getting into the industry, all the support that's generated.
Sure. And I've had my my insurance license for quite a few years now. I mean, not like 20 years, but it's probably seven or so. And I've been looking for the right fit. And I was actually kind of disappointed in some of the other places I'd been. It wasn't the right fit. It just didn't fit me. And once this came around, I was just blown away. And they have all the technology. They have the explosive growth, and they have a culture. I'm really getting involved with the culture. Everybody's there to help each other. And they've got the best of the best of the products. They got the best, returns and all that. But the thing that I love, and I'll talk about, players and such here in a minute, but the things that I love is that they're focused absolutely number one on, as a fiduciary role, what's best for the individual. And we teach them the stuff that you don't get taught in high school and college and by your parents, but we teach you what the wealthy know. Teach you how the Rockefellers built their wealth, and you don't have to be wealthy to do some of these things. I was watching a training about a product today. There's a whole life product, and the whole life gets a bad rap. But if you want quick money, that's unbelievable. You know, there's a product out there that you can purchase, and you can either purchase with a lump sum or monthly. But you can pull your money out within 90% of the money that you put in there. You can pull out 30 days later and take a loan out against yourself. Well, what does that mean? That means, one, you've protected your family. So you've got life insurance, and it comes with living benefits so that while you're alive, if you have a heart attack or stroke or cancer or whatever, you can have access to those benefits. So you got all that stuff taken care of. But as far as like infinite banking and instead of going to the bank and getting a loan and paying interest, what you do is you put money into your tax advantaged vehicle, pull that money back out as a loan at a lower interest rate than what it's gaining in there, because the amount actually stays in there. You pull the money out against the death benefit, so now you are borrowing from yourself, but every month you're getting arbitrage, and you're getting that interest payment.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then you can do that with houses. And I didn't know, most people, 99 out of 100 people out there don't know products like this exist, and where you can
Right.
set up financial wealth for generations and generations. And so when you talk about athletes and people in different, we have these pillars. I think there's 12 of them, but we have a military pillar, we got an athletes pillar, we've got education pillar for people in the education system and everything. And we got specialists that will help these people. You know, if you and I knew some of this stuff when we had more money, we could, at least I'll speak for myself, if I had done what I'm learning now and trying to teach people today, I'd be in a whole lot different situation.
Right.
And I just turned 65. I see people are retiring right now, but they're trying to retire on 401ks, which get taxed, and they're fluctuating, and you can't sleep at night because you think the market's going to crash tomorrow. And we put them in, in guaranteed funds where they guaranteed not to lose their money, and their money will only go up. And then you can pull it out tax free, and you can pull it out for the rest of your life. And we take they have a bucket right now of money that's got a hole in it. We teach them how to put it in a bucket that doesn't have a hole and completely tax advantage. It's just a whole different way of thinking.
Yeah. And
Wonderful.
I've shared with you that, I did that for 20 years. And one of my first clients was my best friend. And I go, hey, just put $100 a month in this thing. We throw it in some mutual funds or grow tax deferred. And at some point down the road, so it used to be in the ULs, the VULs, it used to be for after 10 years, zero interest loan. And he calls me, and it was like 12 years later. He goes, DeRocher, you're never gonna believe it. I did what you said, and I just yanked out money tax free and paid a cash for a car. So and this isn't. This is not a life insurance seminar or anything. But it is to talk about, Norm, because we always want to ask guys what they're doing now and what we're doing to help others, and that is, hey, if you're a young player or anybody, frankly, that's looking for an avenue or revenue stream. I was number one in the country. I know this stuff works. I got involved. Reach out to us and let us know. But I think it's important for everybody to know that this is how we look out for each other. If there's an opportunity that presents itself, we let everybody know. And if it makes sense for you, we'll help you. And that's what we're talking about tonight. And now we're going to talk about Seahawks football. And we're going to bring in our buddy. We're going to bring in our buddy, Kenny Burns. Because
Kenny the man.
What up, Normie? What up, bro?
So, Ken.
Haven't seen you in a while, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Well, I got to say something real quick before you guys do your little love fest. Hey, Norm.
Dave, listen to you.
Ken's been on this show one other time.
Yep.
And let me just tell you, if I had a snapshot of him on this show, I could have put it over right where he is right now. And it'd be exactly the same.
And would he still been sitting there like this?
Chilling in his bed, ready to talk Seahawk football.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, actually, hey, I'll be at training camp tomorrow, first day. So
nice.
Looking forward to seeing all these young guys, especially that quarterback, that Jalen Milroe. I want to see what he's all about.
Interesting. Yeah,
there's some exciting players.
I think this team surprises people this year.
Hey, we said that last year, right, Kenny? And we were right, because what was the over-under? It was like 8 games? It was 8 games? Over-under this year, 7.5 games. I will tell you, there is not many sure bets and I'm not going to screw it up. I'm not going to bet it because if I do, I'll screw it up. But for
I'll
anybody
put
out
it.
there listening,
I'll put it out there right now. They're winning the NFC West. Mark my words. Watch.
I love it. You
Well,
know,
they're
here's one
going to
thing.
win more than 7 games. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Hey, we had Brendan on. We had Spockock on, who's like the encyclopedia of Seahawks football, and Melrose is a name that did not come up.
Really?
Interesting. So, yeah.
Well,
what are your thoughts?
He's your lucky. He's going to be the guy that we're all going to talk about this year. Believe me.
This year,
You will believe me. You're going to get down to that goal
Really?
line. You're going to get down to that goal line. You know he's coming in that game and guaranteeing they're scoring.
I
Okay.
hope they come up with some unbelievably creative packages for him because that would just give people fits. You know, I played on when I played in Pittsburgh in '95 when we went to the Super Bowl. We had they called him Slash. That was
Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart's rookie season, and because he was a quarterback, because he could run, he was big, he could catch, he could do all those things. He was a nightmare for defenses because they didn't know what he was going to do, where he was going to line up, and that was a big part of our game that year was using Cordell, figure out how to use him correctly. And if they do that with Melrose, that really.
Well,
I remember that. I remember the hoopla behind the Slash and the whole deal. And it wasn't until he got on the field, and to your point, Norm, didn't know where he was going to be, but he made an impact. And I don't think people that understand the game realize what a big deal that is for a defensive coordinator. Because now I'll tell you guys, you get scripted down to the T, but you got an unknown of where a guy's going to be. That changes everything a defense is going to do.
An unknown or a mismatch or whatever. It's a mess,
right,
bro. The guy runs like a 4.3 240. I mean, and he can throw the ball. So they're really going to have to be careful what they do. They bring all those people up to the box, try to stop him from running. That guy's going to drop back and throw the ball. It's over.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Well, I got to go to Brendan and say, bro, you didn't even bring up Miller. I'll tell you what. One other name we didn't bring up was Cross. And, it's nice to have an anchor back on that offensive line of a guy that is just solid.
Correct. But have you been seeing Abe Lucas's workouts?
No.
Oh, dude. Search him on Instagram. Go search him on Instagram and watch his workouts.
Okay.
I was just telling you, Dave, he's a beast.
Yeah. And that will be nice to see with the young kid they brought in at guard, who seems to be a solid kid, solid athlete. He could put on some weight. He could put on, but that's fine. He's protected at guard, right? So guards don't need to be the big beast like the tackles do. And as long as we have a solid center, that's been the missing. We all know that's the missing link for this team. And what's really cool too, everyone goes, we don't bring in any vets. We don't bring in any vets. Well, I would propose, let's go young and let these kids figure it out. Because, man, it's all about offensive line is 5 guys acting as one. And let them solidify and pick each other up and become a solid unit rather than a guy that's, going to be in 2 years a Hall of Famer, and have that guy, he teaches them a little bit, he brings them up, but he's not going to be hanging out with those kids. Correct. You know what I mean? These are all like 2, 3, 4 year guys. Man, let them solidify and depending on how this year goes, but I'll tell you, next year, huge difference.
You already know Jalen Milroe is the future of our team at quarterback.
Yeah,
100%. So, Lamar Jackson is one of the best, but I'm telling you, this young kid, with Nick Saban said after we drafted him was like, you guys got a legit future quarterback that's going to kill the league.
Huh.
And that's coming from Nick Saban, dude, who brought him into Alabama.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
I think when Kalen DeBoer went to Alabama, he messed with him. He messed him up. He didn't fit that Kalen DeBoer system. He fit Nick Saban's system.
Yeah.
Well, I got to start out as a Sam Darnold fan because that's who.
Me too. 100%, Norm. I'm right there with you. I'm hyped up for Sam too. Yep.
I think Kubiak will know what to do with Sam, know how to
Yep.
deal with our offensive line. It's
Yep.
I'm pretty excited about what he's bringing to the table.
All the young guys too. The rookie receivers, that Horton kid, that kid's going to kill it too. They keep talking about. In fact, they put an article out today that Jake Bobo might have an uphill battle to make the roster this year.
Oh wow! What about Aurora?
That's been a
nasty.
discussion. You know, that's been a discussion. You know, I mean, Jake does a lot of the special teams. That might be how he keeps his job.
Jake's my boy. He's a fellow Bruin, man.
Oh,
correct.
And he's special, bro. I mean, he really is. I mean, you know, the plays that he makes when he gets a chance, he makes them. The problem is he's never going to be one of those names, you know. But then when you got a star, like Kenny's saying, you got a star coming in that's got star potential alongside our other star receivers with a limited receiving opportunity, because we're going to go a lot of single tight, two tight, you know, fullback, running back. Well, there's no room for a lot of receivers in that set.
Well, the thing about Jake is I love Jake, right? I mean, in fact, I'm working on something with him right now for in the Seattle area, but he, you know, separation is a big thing. You know, he what is he, 6'6", whatever, but the speed just isn't there. And with these little corners these days, and they stick in you like glue.
Yeah.
But they're not very tall.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. So all right. Let's take it each side of the ball. Norm, what are you looking forward to most for the Seahawks offense? What are you looking forward to?
Probably what I'm looking forward to most is establishing a good run game.
Yes.
That's been missing for a while, and a good run game opens everything else up. You can't have effective play action pass without having a scary run game. We've got some scary backs. If they have room to run, they can do some damage. And as soon as the defense changes to stop that, opens everything else up. I mean, it starts with the run. That was, you know, Pete Carroll's philosophy, and I'll go with that. I'm looking forward to that, because that will make our receivers shine if we can run.
Yeah. So Kenny, I heard you say, I think everyone would agree. So Kenny, what's one thing that you have a concern with our offense this year?
Still the offensive line until we see it come together with this new scheme. I know they're bringing that zone blocking scheme back a little bit.
Yeah, the outside zone.
Help our
outside zone.
Yep, the linemen we have are made for that system, and from what they're saying, they're pretty excited about this system coming in.
You know what? And you're exactly right. And of course, as a former offensive lineman, you know, I was a little bit bigger than most, and our offensive line is not. But I will say that they're athletic.
Yep.
And that bodes well. I mean, if you think back to, and this is just after I left, like in 89, 90 with the Denver Broncos, they were lean and athletic. And they just put a hat on a hat and got to the second level. You know, and I think that with our running back core, that bodes well. Is let those kids find a hole, cut, and go, because they all are shifty and they all have a speed, but they'll also, all of them, K9, Charbonnet, McIntosh will all drop a shoulder and run you over. But they all have a speed, and I think that outside zone is perfect for it, and it sets up the play action because you're reaching, it gets everybody stretched, it gets everybody moving in a direction. If you're just running inside, you know, off guard, off tackle, AB gap, nobody's moving anywhere. They're just sitting there. But man, you start getting defenses moving, and then you go back across, you know, play action or RPOs. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And
well, remember, if you guys remember right, the Saints in the beginning of the year last year with Clint Kubiak as a coordinator led the league in passing until their receivers all got hurt. Then they dropped like crazy because they had to run the ball. Yeah. Yep. So, but speaking of the running backs, Kenny McIntosh is a guy to watch out for this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes, I believe he's the one that's going to light them up, I think.
Well, if K9 stays healthy, I think he's the dude. But the nice thing is, if he does pull up again, you know, that we've got a solid core behind him.
Well, then they drafted that other running back too. Remember the rookie this year? They drafted that guy that played for Oregon State but transferred to Miami.
Yeah.
He's going to be a good one too.
We also
All right.
have a fullback this year that I understand is really something.
Yep.
Who's that? Does anybody know? Name?
He came from
Midwest big school.
didn't he come from Alabama? Did he play with Jalen Milroe?
It might be Alabama. Could
I
be.
think
Okay.
so.
All right.
Could be.
But
He's
I know we're going. Yep, I know we're going to that philosophy. I know we're going to that set, that tight end, 2 tight end, fullback set, outside zone, a couple receivers, and just manage the game. Manage the game and let our defense make the plays because man, we are stacked. So I'm going to start with Kenny. What are you looking forward to on the defensive side of things for us this year? I mean, there's so many, but I'll let you start.
Man, getting after the quarterback. And another
Yes.
thing is Shaquille Griffin back. Shaquille Griffin back in Seattle, number 26. I think that's a big signing late in the free agency market to get him to come here. That secondary is loaded.
Yep. And then we got Mahe, right?
Mafe, yeah.
He is
Mafe.
set. He's set for that that breakout season. I mean, he was a force last year.
Well, he's got to do something more this year because he's up for a contract.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you saw Uchenna's out for a while again.
Again. What happened? I didn't hear about that.
They put him on the PUP list again. So I don't know what's going on there.
Well, he got scoped a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago. He got scoped again, or a little surgery. So he's still doing PT.
Mm-hmm.
They restructured his contract to keep him on board. And they freed up a lot of cap space with that. But gosh darn it, man! If that kid, I don't know if you guys watch. He lives just right up the road here at Carson, and I've done some stuff with him, so I got to know him. So then I started to really watch him, and I'll tell you what, that kid is special if he can stay healthy. But that's the caveat. Of course, our defensive.
Well, I want to see Lawrence go off.
Oh yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence.
That dude's a beast.
Hey. The arms are ridiculous.
Oh.
We lost that.
Go ahead. Someone tried calling me.
Oh.
Are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Say it again.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
My phone rang. Sorry. I was talking about DeMarcus Lawrence's hands. His arms are so long, dude, that they're ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you just need that, and Norm, you would know because you did a few different teams. You need that change, that revitalization, in a new organization with some younger guys that are looking to you to be that guy, like we had with doggone, who's our defensive tackle? They had a killer season last year.
Jerron Reed?
No.
From New York.
New York.
Come on, guys.
Oh,
99.
Williams.
Leonard
Williams.
Well, I wanted to say Williams, and I thought I was going to be wrong, so I should have just said it. But man, what a season! And you know what? I can see that for Lawrence. A revitalization, fitting in perfect. It's kind of obscure because you're concerned about Mahe on the outside, and you got Williams on the inside, and then you got a guy just squeezing in because he's going one-on-one with a guy. So our defensive interior rotation is sick. So I love it. I love that front line. Norm.
Yeah.
What do you see as a weakness or that we might be exposed on the defense if we have one?
Well, I think our 2 starting inside linebackers are pretty solid, but I don't know what we have behind them. And so one injury can really throw that throw a wrench into that. So that's a little bit of a concern. I think Knight's going to be good. He's a little undersized, but he played really well last year as a rookie. Hopefully no sophomore slump. Hopefully he goes next level. But what's his name that we got in the middle of the season last year is a baller.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that is what is his name? God dang it, he came from.
I should have a roster in front of me. I can't.
Ernest Jones. Ernest Jones Jr.
Ernest Jones is a man.
Yeah,
he plays ball.
But
let's say Ernest, sprains his ankle, gets dinged up, and he's out for 4 weeks. What do we have? What do we
correct?
Do? And then we're counting on Knight to do a lot
Right.
in his second year,
It-
and he's
A second-year guy.
undersized.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what though, our now, Walt, and Walt got to embellish on it last week, but our defensive backs, I mean, what the heck does that room look like? I mean, it's crazy talent.
I know our safeties, boy, new safety could be quite a player.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I
he's
can't pronounce his
guess
last name, but
phenomenal athlete, like one of the best athletes in the draft, if not in the league coming in. Just crazy physique. But then the guys we've had for a few years, right? That room has got experience, talent. It's just okay. Can we maximize that? Can we get them all working together? And one thing that Walt brings up that's such a valid point, and I see it on so many teams, is a crap ton of talent, and then deep ball, touchdown, and all the DBs are going like this to each other. Can we get these young guys to communicate? Walt says all the time, the Legion of Boom was the Legion of Boom because they knew what each other were doing before they did it. The communication was there on the field. Sherman leading them all those cats, man, just leading them. It's like they were so well versed. It was a net, and so rarely did they get beat on bad coverage or anything else. But so many times you see these teams that have this big contract guys and talent, and they're all standing with their arms like this. And
Yep.
who's that freaking tight end for Kelsey? Catching balls all over. How does Kelsey ever get open? That's what I want to know. And some of these teams go.
I wonder that all the time. When I watch replays, I'm like, how does he get so open all the time? How does nobody?
I don't think they're done on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going after somebody else. Remember, they just released Noah Fant, saving almost $9 million.
We got $38 million in cap.
Something's coming down the road. Another D end, another pass rusher. I'm telling you, because of the Uchenna situation, you lost him for a while.
Yeah,
you're gonna need somebody else out there.
Well, you got Derek Hall too.
Yep, but they're talking like Zadarius Smith from the Vikings. They're talking about Javion Clowney, who's a free agent right now because the Panthers released him.
Yeah.
So
okay, so I mean, Kenny,
yeah.
I never saw Clowney do anything that they expect. I mean, he had flashes.
Wait, Dave, remember when he was with the Ravens in 2021, he had 11 sacks under Mike Macdonald.
Okay. Well, so that's under his scheme, and maybe like we were just saying, sometimes a player goes to where he was loved, and he, revitalized a little bit,
Yeah, he had 11 sacks in Mike Macdonald's defense in his scheme.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's somebody who knows that player. Holy cow.
Yep. So. But we'll see, man.
So we've touched on this. So the coaching, I think we're all still excited about Mike. I think Michael McDonald has done a great job. He's shown, he can sit under the fire. He, took a team that was expected to win 10 games according to Vegas, or 7 games according to Vegas, 7.5, and they won. What did we win? 9 or 10?
10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So and I thought did a freaking great job with a so-so roster. I think Kubiak's a great ad, and I've not heard a negative thing about that. Overall, what do you guys think about the coaching staff, Norm?
I'm not a great judge on coaches, but I do try to follow a lot of that. I do think that we've upgraded our offensive coordinator. I'm a big Kubiak backer.
Good.
I think our running backs coach is awesome, and I love Mike McDonald. Somebody you don't hear much about is Leslie Frazier.
Yep.
He's
a defensive guy too. Yep.
Yeah, he's quietly in the background there, but I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a really good coach. So I think a year, it's hard for anybody putting in a system year one and expecting a lot out. He got a lot out of him. Now let's give one more year of maturity to that scheme and the players getting used to it. and fill a couple of holes on that defense, I think look out. I think it's going to be trouble. Our defense is going to be trouble for a lot of folks.
Who's the old line coach that came with him from New Orleans? John Benton, right? Is that his name?
Okay.
Yep, he's supposed to be pretty dang good too.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to say the consensus and it's easy as a former Seahawk fan. Everyone's going to find the benefits of the team. When we look at and actually, did we talk about the potential weaknesses? Yeah, we did. For the defenses, the linebacking core, I think that's also an easy consensus. Is that we're decent first level, but man, you go to that second string, it starts getting really thin quick. The beauty
I don't even know who our
is,
third inside backer is.
Yeah, but the beauty of it is we are so deep and strong in that backfield that we can protect them a little bit. If we get somebody in there that's half, the so-so, that's giving up the easy passes to the tight end or the middle or whatever, man, our DBs are so aggressive and so athletic and so strong. I think we can protect that linebacking core. So if we're going to have a weakness, I think that's a good place to have it.
So because I think we're going to be a lot stronger up front too. So
Yeah.
that's going to help protect those linebackers a lot.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that you put on a pretty good party in Arizona.
I don't know, Dave. Why don't you tell me all about it? I think you were there last year, weren't you?
Brother, man, I am going to tell you, man. You said, hey, Dave, you got to come out to Arizona, bro. I'm like, okay, I'm down with it. It's only 6 hours. We drove out there. You said, I put on a really good party. I'm like, okay. I show up there. Hey, Norm, have you been to Arizona for that takeover?
No.
All right. Well, we got to expand that. We got to expand that former player list, Kenny. But I will tell you. So first day we cruise in, and literally I'm at the hotel, and I see like just nothing but like Seahawk gear, cruising around. So I know I'm in the right place, and we start meandering over to the spot where Kenny has his deal.
Westgate.
Oh my God! So it's this mega mall deal, and I'm like out the Parkway in the East Wing, and I'm walking, and I'm seeing all these Seahawks stuff, and we get to that, and literally, I don't know how many people. It's 500 people, 400, 500 people in this place, 2 stories, and it's nothing but Seahawk uniforms, jerseys, sweatshirts, whatever, gear. Not a single Cardinals fan. We're right in the heart, right next to the stadium. And then there was another party that I know that kind of took after yours. Maybe that's like, they saw how much you were doing, and then they started doing one, and it was not quite as big, but it was all this whole courtyard of this mega mall was all Seahawks fans, and I could have swore I was like at Seahawks Stadium because I did not see a red and whatever color they are anywhere.
Didn't you play with D-Jack? Was you in DJ? Or he was years after you? Before, yeah. Okay.
No, Patrick Hunter.
P. Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. P. Hunt. Yeah.
I played with Patrick Hunter and Terry Taylor and.
Was Nesby was with you back then, right?
Nesby.
I played with Nesby, safety. Yeah. Oh yeah, Paul Moyer.
Yep.
Safety. Kenny Easley.
Paul Moyer. That guy was a hard hitting son of a. That guy was a knock you out guy there. Paul Moyer, man, Jesus.
Hey, Kenny. So we had Paul on the show.
Yep.
And I had brought up my rookie year. We're playing the Raiders, the final game of the season to get into the wild card, and we were up like 6 points with like 45 seconds, and to me, if we win, I'm a rookie. I made nothing, but I would make $10,000, which was huge to me
back then.
And so they had 4 plays with like 45 seconds, and friggin' Jay Schrader is hucking balls into the end zone from the 40-yard line, whatever it was. And of course I'm probably wrong, but that's what I remember. I remember these bombs, and every one of them made it to the end zone, and then like bounced like Willie Gault. He was so fast, but he couldn't catch a cold, and the balls like bouncing off his head. And so Paul shares. He goes, the last play of the game. He goes, I'm just gassed. And Willie had blown like right by me, and I get in the end zone, and he goes, and the ball's coming right before. He goes, I stepped on his foot, and so he couldn't jump.
Hey, wow.
Wow, that's funny.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, we'll have to get Norm to AZ. I'll call Norm. I have Norm's number. I've had that guy's number for like 9-10 years now.
yeah. So
I'll talk to Norm about that. But yeah, Arizona's off the charts.
Time.
Yeah,
Pardon?
Arizona's nuts. Go ahead.
What other events do you do other than that?
Oh, man, Norm knows. He's been to a lot of my stuff through the years. Right?
Yeah, how many are you doing? How many did you do last year, Kenny?
Well, we didn't. So, Norm, to be honest with you, back here at home, I sort of cut it out. I usually do it at away games now.
Oh, okay.
I don't do as much here as I used to. You know, the fan base here at home has dropped off. It's not the same like it was 5 or 6 years ago.
No, yeah.
It's a different vibe, man. I even had this talk with Earl Thomas because Earl Thomas is coming to Arizona with me this year for our event.
Yes.
And we had this discussion when I talked to him on the phone. I'm like, dude, it's not the same. So, but it's better at away games. Away games are a lot funner for some reason. The real fans come to the traveling games. It's crazy.
Huh.
It's just different.
No kidding.
It's different. Well, Norm, I don't even go to much home games anymore. I used to go to every game. I missed one game up until like 3 years ago. So that's 94.
And what do you think that, because I've been up for alumni games. I was up at the last one I did was maybe 4 years ago.
It was 2 years ago, Dave, wasn't it? 2 years ago, weren't you here?
Maybe.
Yeah, remember we were down at the Tony T's, remember?
Yeah, we are. So maybe it was ago. But I'll tell you, it was still Seahawks strong. It was still 12. It was still, but I remember watching last season on TV.
Yep.
And I saw something I'd never seen before. And I saw like half the jerseys of the visiting team. I've never seen that. And is it just the cost of tickets? Is it just cost of? I mean, what do you?
No.
Because
Dave. Here's what it's called. It's called when we're winning. The stadium's full.
Yeah.
Okay. When we're not winning, yes, we did win 10 games, but we didn't make the playoffs, so they don't come out. They'd rather sit at home, sell their tickets, try to profit a little bit, sit at home and watch the games.
Yeah.
Sell to the opposing team. Yeah, what was Chuck's favorite saying about that? Do you remember?
No, what was it?
He'd say the bandwagon is a crowded ride. So they jumped off the bandwagon.
Wow, that's true story. Yep. Hey, Norm, you were talking about kickers. You guys were talking about kickers earlier. Yeah. Nobody ever talks. Norm was one of the best. Nobody ever talks about John Casey. Remember John Casey?
Oh yeah, he took my job.
I didn't even realize that, but I'm just saying he was a good. He was another good kicker.
See, I didn't follow his career much at all because I went to the other coast and I was pissed at the Seahawks, so I didn't pay any attention. And so I didn't know that he took your job. I wasn't thinking that. I'm just trying to remember that he was the kicker.
Kenny, way to kill the positive vibe of the show.
He was a 4th round draft pick.
Oh, he was.
Dave?
Dave, look at Dave.
Hey, our show's going great. It's just great.
This Norm goes, yeah, he took my job.
Norm,
what the heck?
Remember that guy that took your job?
No, that's all right.
Thanks, Kenny.
Norm.
Oh,
wow.
That's all right. Hey, I'll tell you the guy that took mine, and I wasn't there long. So,
who was it?
Huh?
Who was it?
Derek Brills.
Derek Brills.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yep. I got released last at the very end. Chuck brings me in, goes, Dave, we believed in you. We kept you on the 48-man protective roster. What happened was I got that knee to the calf and I was out for a couple of weeks, but they released me and they brought, and I was at guard. I was next to Andy Heck, They moved me to guard. And frankly, when I got released, I showed up to the doctor's office. They go, what are you doing here? And I said, Chuck released me. They go, really? I'm like, I'm starting preseason. Everyone's going, bro, you're going to be here forever, man. You're great at guard. And then it's just, one of those things. You know, I got needed a calf. It compartmentalized. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. I come back in, one game, and then final cut. Dave, we believe in you, but we gotta let you go. And then
Yeah.
Derek Barles comes in, and I'm looking at him, and that kid's like 6'4", like 280. I mean, little guy, but he ended up having a great career, and I can't hate him. So I'm
Hey,
going to try and get him on the show. Love to have him on the show.
Little story
gotta
for you
love
guys.
it.
Remember, Norm? You guys remember when you guys used to park out in that parking lot of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the big parking lot back in the day, where the Wamu Theater is now? That used to be the parking lot. Where all one of my favorite punters of all time, Rick Bootin' Tootin'. I remember sitting outside after games having having beers with old Rick Tootin' out there. That guy was a hoot, man. God.
Hey,
we used to have to park with everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember those days. Yeah.
I got to share a story with you. So my first week, right after making the team, we're getting ready for probably was a preseason game because it was early. And Bevo and Moon Pie. Okay, so Brian Millard, Mike Wilson, and
Bevo made the 50.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. And so did EB.
Whatever it's called.
And so did Edwin Bailey. Yeah.
Yep.
But there were three of them, and it might have been Blair Bush, but there were three of them that go, Dave, we like to get there an hour before the team, and you're the rookie, so you're going to drive us. And I said, okay, whatever. And I had this Blazer 4x4, and I get them all in there, and we're going over to the Kingdom. And Norm, if you remember, there used to be traffic all the time.
Oh yeah.
I grew up in L.A., man, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to show these guys my skills. I'm going to get them to the game. And I'm weaving, I'm cutting, I'm going across lanes, shoot through traffic, and I get them there. And literally, we get to that parking lot, Kenny, and they all got out and go, Leo, they call me Leo because Leo DeRosa. You go, Leo, you're never driving us again. I'm freaking like stressed out, car sick, and here I am thinking I'm taking care of the veteran brothers, getting them there.
Oh God,
that's pretty funny.
But yeah, we did. We parked right in the parking lot, right outside the stadium. I mean, it was like general. There was like no specialized area for us or anything. No.
Yeah, heck, I had a one of the first cars I bought was a Toyota Supra, and it was a cool little fancy car. It was a stick shift, and I got in that to leave one night, after the parking lot has basically emptied out. I go out to my car and I start driving, and all of a sudden, and my tire's rolling down that big old parking lot. Somebody tried to lift my wheels, and my wheel fell off as I'm trying to drive home after the game. Well, it fell off right in the parking lot. I'm like, I'm glad that didn't happen on the freeway.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. I tell you, I learned something about the weather up there. My first car was a 5.7 liter IROC Z28. It had the vet engine in it, and T-tops. I'm like, I think I'm cool. Well, doggone it, it's wet up there, and I could not keep the tires from spinning. I mean, I'd punch it and they would just spin. It would spin everywhere. I'm going sideways. I had it for like 4 months, and I'm like, okay, I can't have this freaking car in this weather. And we got a match on, Anyhow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey guys, Kenny, anything else that you want to announce that you got going? It's coming up because we have.
No, I'm good for now, you guys.
Norm, anything else that you've got? Any special events you're attending? Any autograph deals or anything you want to let people know about to come show up and support you?
Nope, nothing I can think of at the moment.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you both, man. It was a lot of fun, and it's
right,
I can always tell when the show is good because when I look up at the clock, oh, holy smokes, it's already been an hour.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun for us, and I know everyone appreciates seeing you. Kenny, we'll see you in Arizona, brother. If
yes,
I can,
sir.
I'm gonna try and make it up for the alumni weekend this year, but depending on
is that the home is that home opener weekend?
September 7th.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Yep,
Let me
September
know.
7th.
Let me know. We'll plan something.
All right. Well, I gotta get my budget together, and hopefully Norm's gonna make me a lot of money, and I can afford to go.
Yeah. We'll work on that.
I love you both. Love both you guys.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, welcome to Hawk Talk. Hey, just this week, guys, there's a lot of things going on in this world. Let's just love and respect each other and all be good humans. And we'll see you all next week. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Wait,
Bye,
stay on
guys.
the line, guys.
Yep.